And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The article flags a couple of things that seem to set Nika apart. First off, their leadership team, described as having some of the most respected names in pharmaceutical development and biotechnology.
Hmm.
What kind of impact does that caliber of leadership usually have on a company like this, in this space?
Oh, it's huge. In the pharma world, especially biotech, a seasoned leadership team, they bring just a wealth of experience. Experience in navigating those really complex regulatory pathways, securing funding, which is always critical, and guiding drug development through the very rigorous clinical trial process. You'd want to ask, right, what kind of track records do these individuals actually have? Have they successfully brought drugs to market before? Particularly in these tough areas Nika's targeting. That kind of background, well, it's a massive asset for building investor confidence and for attracting top talent, too.
Exactly. And speaking of their focus areas,
Mhm.
the article mentions they're targeting groundbreaking treatments for rare diseases, complex cancers, and neurological conditions. Hmm. Now, these are clearly areas with significant unmet medical needs, but they're also notoriously difficult to tackle, aren't they? What's the strategic thinking behind focusing on these, particularly the challenging areas?
Well, often in these, underserved areas, there are simply fewer existing treatment options, which means if a company like Nika is successful, that can translate to really significant market potential. Makes sense. Plus, sometimes regulatory bodies might offer expedited review processes for therapies that target serious conditions where there just aren't good alternatives. If you connect this to the bigger picture, it reflects a growing trend, actually, a focus in pharmaceutical innovation on addressing diseases that have historically been, well, very difficult to treat.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, here's something else. Unlike a lot of biotech startups that can spend years, navigating regulatory hurdles, Nika has apparently already, so quote, secured early-stage regulatory milestones. That sounds like a pretty significant advantage. What does that typically signify for a company at their stage?
Yeah, securing those early stage milestones, it often means they've successfully finished their preclinical work. So lab studies, animal studies, and crucially, they've gotten the green light from regulators to start testing in humans. Phase 1 trials, essentially. That's a major hurdle cleared,
Hmm.
And it gives an initial hint about the therapy's safety profile that suggests, they have a well-defined plan and, importantly, the expertise to actually execute it.
Right. The article also points to their strategy of expanding R&D, their research and development, into underserved global regions. Hmm. Now, that seems like a smart move on the surface, but what are some of the potential upsides and maybe the challenges of going global with research so early?